Hi folks, today I want to tell you how to get a failover cluster of Postgres database servers up and running quickly and easily. In this project we will use PostgreSQL 13, Patroni, etcd and HAProxy. We will automate the deployment process with HashiCorp Vagrant. For starters, notice the variables in the Vagrant file. Here you can specify the resources allocated to each virtual machine and the IP addresses for each Postgre node and the HAProxy server. Next, in the loop starts the process of deployment of the 3 database server nodes. After the virtual machines is up and running, environment variables are defined and the db node init.sh script starts executing. After it's done, post-install commands are executed, which starts etcd and Patroni services, as well as check the status of the cluster. And the last step is to deploy the HAProxy server. Define environment variables and run the HAProxy init.sh script. Now let's look at the dbnode init.sh script. Everything here is pretty simple. Install PostgreSQL 13, etcd and Patroni, start the database and edit the password for the Postgres user. Then script stops all the services we are using, because they will be configured in next steps. The first thing to configure is the etcd service. Pay special attention to the initialization of the cluster. Here we specify all 3 nodes of the database cluster. Then the Patroni service is configured as well. Finally, script creates a configuration file for Patroni service. Here are also specified all 3 nodes of the database cluster and configuration of DCS. Pay special attention to the section PG-HBA. As you probably already guessed, here are set options for the pghba.conf file. If you know Postgres, you know what it says. If not, I advise you to read the documentation. Link will be in the description below. At the end, scripts restarts systemd to apply the etcd and Patroni configurations. The next script to review is HAProxy init.sh. It's even simpler. It installs HAProxy and creates a configuration file for it. Note that you have to specify all 3 cluster nodes there. At the end, HAProxy service is restarted. That's all. Okay, nice. Let's start an automatic deployment. Take notes to this command. If you want a timestamped log during the deployment, use this construction. Command also will be in the description below. We will check the state of the cluster by running the vagrant up command again. As you will remember, the post-install commands only turn on services and show the status of the cluster.
I am sitting in the morning at the diner on the corner. I am waiting at the counter for the man to pour the coffee, and he fills it only halfway. And before I even argue, he is looking out the window at somebody coming in.
Well, cluster is up and we can also see two active connections to the database. Patroni service for replication and PG admin 4.
Says the man behind the counter to the woman who has come in. She is shaking her umbrella, and I look the other way as they are kissing their hellos, and I'm pretending.
Now let's run a simple load test to the database. Instructions also will be in description below.
There's a story of an actor who had died while he was drinking. It was no one I had heard of, and I'm turning to the horoscope and looking for the funnies when I'm feeling someone watching me, and so I raise my head. There's a woman on the outside looking inside. Does she see me? No, she does not really see me, 'cause she sees her own reflection, and I'm trying not to notice that she's hitching up her skirt, and while she's straightening her stockings, her hair has gotten wet.
We can see on the dashboard that the database started to handle load and new connections appeared.